According to traditional Satanism, there are several types of distinct acausal beings who exist in the acausal continuum, known to us, historically and otherwise, from adepts who, having developed acausal empathy and acausal thinking, have discovered or come to know of such beings. Acausal beings are beyond our causal concepts and abstractions. Some dwell and can only exist in the acausal spaces, while others can dwell or be manifest in both the acausal and the causal, with there being many different types of acausal entities, all of which have their own nature or type of being. Essentially, they have no physical form, as we define and understand physical form, for example, a body. Although some types of acausal being, who can dwell or manifest or be presenced in our causal spaces, can dwell within, or presence themselves within or be presenced within, a causal form such as a living body or being, including a human being. And some of the acausal beings who can or who have done this are known as shapeshifters. We cannot see or detect by our limited physical senses or by using causality-based physical instruments unpresenced acausal beings who may be transiting through or dwelling within our causal spaces, our physical world and universe, if such beings have not accessed or presenced themselves in some causal living form, or even in most cases, even if they have done this. However, some of us, in some other life, may sometimes feel or be aware of some such acausal beings. For example, if we possess a certain type of empathy or have the esoteric knowledge to detect some such transiting or indwelling acausal beings. Since these acausal beings are beyond our causal concepts and abstractions, it is incorrect to judge such beings according to our limited causal morality. They are neither good nor evil. They live according to their own nature as acausal beings, just as, for example, a wild predatory animal lives according to its wild predatory nature. According to esoteric tradition, there are some acausal beings who are drawn, or who have been in the past, been drawn toward our causal spaces, our physical universe, because they do or have acquired the ability to feed off certain types of emotion or states of being, which emotion or states of being are but types of energy. Due to the nature of the acausal spaces, and thus the nature of acausal energy, acausal beings do not die as we die and do not age as we age. Furthermore, our causal concept of physical travel or movement, which takes causal time, is irrelevant to and does not apply to such beings due to their very nature as acausal beings. However, most acausal beings are not, by our standards, all-powerful, and many cannot change or restructure temporal things, just as some cannot transit to or be presenced in the causal spaces or dwell within causal beings without some aid or assistance in opening a nexions or nexions, which in many instances is just a direct connexion between the causal and acausal spaces. According to tradition, some of these known acausal beings have been collectively described by the term the Dark Gods, or the Dark Ones, or the Dark Immortals. And included in this particular type of acausal being is the entity more commonly known to us as Satan. And that entity, which we, limited causal mortal beings, describe as the female counterpart of Satan, who, according to the dark tradition, inherited by the Order of Nine Angles, has the name of Baphomet, who is the dark, violent goddess, the real mistress of earth and of nature, to whom sacrifices were made, and who ritualistically and symbolically washes in a basin full of the blood of her victims. According to oral legend, she, as one of the dark gods, is also a shapeshifter who has intruded, visited, been presenced or manifest on earth in times past, and who can manifest again if certain rituals are performed and certain offerings be made. Traditionally, it was to Baphomet that initiates and adepts of the dark tradition dedicated their chosen sacrifices, whether it be through deed or otherwise. Importantly, traditional Satanism does not regard Satan or any of the Dark Ones, such as Baphomet, as conventional gods or goddesses are understood, and thus as beings to be worshipped, feared, and obeyed in a conventional religious sense. Instead, they are regarded as sinister friends, as newfound companions, and may be likened to long-lost sisters and brothers or other relatives, and, in the case of Satan and Baphomet, as akin to our hitherto unknown mother and father, to be thus admired and respected, but never worshipped. In addition, and in the case of some of these dark entities, they are, or can be considered as, our lovers. Thus, our relationship to these acausal beings is certainly not one of fear, or of subservience. In addition, the term the dark gods is to be understood as but a useful, somewhat old aeon, that based on causal thinking, inherited exoteric term to describe a particular acausal species, many of whom are known to and named by the dark tradition, which species, when manifest in the causal, are certainly far more powerful than human beings. Thus, the conventional names given to some such acausal beings as are known to us, or which have been known to human beings in ages past, are only exoteric names, only imperfect causal terms which are useful symbols. Thus, a name such as Satan does not fully describe the real acausal nature and character of that specific acausal being, which acausal being has an esoteric name, an acausal name deriving from acausal thinking and acausal knowing, which better describes such a being.